Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Driver's Debrief. This one is a bit of a bonus episode, so to speak, as we are obviously doing our weekly Monday episodes. But with those season previews that we've been doing, we have had a lot of news that's gone uncovered. So this week, this episode this week, second episode this week, we are going to cover the Formula E Mexico City E-Prix that happened over the weekend. We're going to do our normal cool down room where we blow through the news. It's a little bit more unorganized because I'm basically just going to be going through my X bookmarks. I didn't have time with work and everything to go through and organize this all out in notes, but we're going to get through it all. We're also going to cover the IndyCar commercial that's making waves in the motorsports community on social media and more. But before I do that, please do follow on Rumble. We're at 9 out of 10 followers. Would love to get to 10. Please subscribe on YouTube and like the video on both. Comment your thoughts on some of these news transfers and more. And then follow here on X at Drivers Debrief. It's all on the screen, one of the corners. I don't know which one. I'm not going to point to it. But make sure to follow wherever you watch. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump into all of the news because we have a lot to cover. There's been a lot that's been happening. So let's go. I'm just going to literally go in reverse order in my X bookmarks, and that's just how we're going to do it. So bear with me. So from the race 35 minutes ago, Fernando Alonso's management company, A14, which already has Gabriel Bortoleto, Max Gunther, and several F1 juniors, has just added IndyCar's Will Power to their roster. So he's joined the company. It doesn't seem like he is... He's not going to be one of the agents managed. He will just be one of the kind of ownership components, one of the managerial components. Jules Gounon, Kenny Habul, and Lucas Stoles are attempting to win their third Maguire's Bathurst 12 Hour. They're going to be running next month in the Synergy 1 Mercedes AMG. This is from Sports Car 365. Ex-BMW LMDH project leader Maurizio Lasciuta, yeah, I think that's the only way I can say that, has been named Lamborghini's new head of motorsport. Obviously, he was responsible for leading BMW in the direction of this hypercar GTP sports car program. So hopefully he will kind of revitalize the weakening, kind of feeble Lamborghini sports car program when it comes to prototypes, but obviously across other disciplines. Andretti has renewed and brought back all of their drivers from last year in IndyCar, Colton Herta, Marcus Ericsson, and Kyle Kirkwood. That's Formula E. Fox Sports has announced the broadcast booth for the NTT IndyCar series. We are getting Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe, and Will Buxton, which is huge. That's huge news for the IndyCar world. And for the F1 world, because F1 TV now loses both Hinchcliffe and Will Buxton. Formula E has confirmed that it will return to Mexico City in 2026. And we're getting NASCAR at Mexico City this year. So a lot of cool stuff happening at that track. Trackhouse has revealed their new MotoGP liveries, very Suzuki-esque. Kurt Busch is returning to racing in the Race of Champions with Travis Pastrana, which is going to be awesome. This is coming from the race. Charles Leclerc's longtime Ferrari F1 engineer, Xavi Marcos Padros, who was replaced in May of last year, has found a new role. You want to know what it is? He is now the technical director of Cadillac Racing. And this is from GM, quote, focusing on all aspects of engineering, car performance, and development, end quote. Which, as I said, that was a very unexpected intersection between sports car racing and Formula One. Autosport reports that former F1 boss Bernie Ecclestone will receive the award to mark a motorsport career that has spanned 6 decades. That award is going to be the 75th anniversary award at the Autosport Awards. That sounded very redundant. The CW has announced their talent for the NASCAR booth. They're going to have Adam Alexander, Jamie McMurray, and Parker Kligerman joining them. Paul Miller Racing has finalized their driver roster. We got some Caterham news. Porsche Motorsport announced yesterday that Porsche Works driver Julian Edelauer will join Neil Yanni, Nico Pino, and Tristan Vautier in the number 5 Proton Racing Porsche 963. Let's keep moving. Hypercar GTP, who's a pretty reputable sports car reporter on X, says that McLaren is... Well, actually, this is according to Racer. McLaren is considering a return to the top class of sports car racing, which would be GTP and Hypercar, which would be awesome if we can do that. Tatiana Calderon is back on the grid for 2025 in the IMSA Endurance Cups series with Gradient Racing. Pratt Miller made some Corvette livery announcements. There's more IndyCar news. We got Kelvin van der Linde will return to Team WRT's BMW GT3 car with Valentino Rossi, which is super cool, in World Endurance Championship. Let's see. I'm literally scrolling through my bookmarks right now. Seat, Cupra, Leon stuff. Jacob Abel will move up to IndyCar in this year's Dale Coyne number 51 Honda car. So congratulations to him. We have esports news. Carlo Pernot steps down as Enea Bastianini's manager due to health issues, so we hope he gets better. The new for 2025 GTDX class is set to debut in the VP Racing Sports Car Challenge series with 9 GT3 spec cars entered for the Roar before the 24. Haas is testing today at Jerez and tomorrow with Esteban Ocon, Ollie Behrman, and Ritomo Miata. So that'll be cool, the Haas VF23 car. Let's see. Sergio Perez says he's going to consider his options for an F1 comeback in 6 months. In all seriousness, we know that's not going to happen. Al Manar Racing by WRT has won the Dubai 24 Hours with Max Hesse, Dan Harper, Darren Leung, Al Faisal, Al Zubair, and Ben Tuck, as they all claimed their first overall 24-hour race wins with the M4 GT3 Evo, which this was its first race and it wins. More Formula E stuff, but we'll get into that. Brian Herter Autosport will return to a 4-car stable with Hyundai Elantra and TCR cars in the Michelin Pilot Challenge season, but it will not feature who we all were cheering for last year in Robert Wickens. Mohammed Ben Solayem getting into more drama as usual. Prema Racing did an awesome IndyCar launch of their new livery. NASCAR's motion to dismiss the 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports antitrust lawsuit has been denied, according to Racer. That was 4 days ago. Let's see. Oz Negri and Jay Schriebman will step up to a full season in GT World Challenge America in the Ferrari AF Corsa 296. If you don't know who Oz Negri is, look him up. He is a staple of North American sports car racing. From former Mercedes engine boss Cowell will replace Mike Crack as Aston Martin's F1 team principal. The team has announced Mike Crack is in the team still, but no longer in that team principal role. Let's see. Let's go through quickly the full calendar of MotoGP livery announcements. Obviously, we already had Trackhouse. Tomorrow is Aprilia. Then on the 18th, we have Gresini. On the 20th, the factory Ducati. On the 25th, VR46. On the 30th, KTM. On the 31st, Yamaha. On the 1st of February is Honda. And then on the 8th of February is LCR. And then we have a MotoGP launch on the 9th. It's been announced from Trackhouse that Ross Chastain and Shane Van Gisbergen will compete in 9 Xfinity Series races with JR Motorsports. That'll be Coda, Darlington, Nashville, Dover, and Iowa for Ross Chastain. And then for SVG, it'll be Mexico City, Chicago, Sonoma, and the Glen. That'll be awesome to see SVG in winning machinery in Xfinity. This Friday, the BMW M Endurance Challenge goes green at Daytona in IMSA. Prime Video will be the primary sponsor on Chase Elliott's number 9 Hendrick Chevrolet for 3 races during the Cup season. So it's good to see big sponsorship money from Amazon getting into NASCAR. Arthur Leclerc is going to make his Rolex 24 debut with AF Corsa. The ELMS race winner and Ferrari F1 development driver will make his appearance in the number 50 AF Corsa Ferrari. This is coming from Only Endurance. He will be joined by Agostini, Toledo, Leclerc obviously, and Larson, not Kyle Larson. Ford Performance has brought multiple upgrades to the Mustang Dark Horse R for next season's Mustang Challenge, trying to make it easier for teams to service them, among other things. CEO of F1, Stefano Domenicali, will now have to report to a committee on the Liberty Media Board following the confirmation of Derek Chang as Liberty Media's new CEO. That is from Racer Magazine. Motorsport.com reports that Le Mans winner Ryo Hirakawa is moving to Alpine as its test and reserve driver, having previously worked for McLaren in Formula One. Iron Dames signed former Audi factory driver Vanina Ix, the daughter of Jackie Ix, former DTM driver, Le Mans Series podium finisher, and Nürburgring 24-hour class winner. Which program she'll be running in for the Iron Dames and GT will be announced later, but that is a huge signing for them. General Motors has established, this is coming from Racer Magazine, a new company that will develop and manufacture its future Formula One power unit for the Cadillac F1 team, and named Russ Oblenz as its new CEO. That is headquartered out of Charlotte. Lone Star Racing Team has confirmed their lineup in the number 80 Mercedes-AMG GT3 car. In the Bathurst 12-hour, Volante Rosso has announced his plans to contest next month's Bathurst 12-hour in the Aston Martin Vantage. Oh, wow. Let's see. 24 Hours of Daytona driver announcement in the Van de Steur Racing Aston Martin. They have Valentin Hasklau, Van de Steur, McIntosh, and Robin in that car. DXDT Racing announced that Blake McDonald and Matt Bell will be joining them in the GT World Championship season in the Corvette Z06 GT3R. Man, we're blowing through this. I love it. Helio Castroneves will be doing the ARCA race in Daytona in the Pinnacle Racing Group number 82 car. Chiarsi Competizione, we announced that in the IMSA preview. Here's some more Haas factory team NASCAR news. Jason Trincher joins the team as crew chief for Sam Mayer. Jonathan Toney will be paired with Sheldon Creed. Nick Sandler will serve as the Cup Series competition director, while Adam Gravett leads the Xfinity program. Moving through. I think that does it. Wow. All right, chat. That was a lot to get through in 12 minutes for motorsports news, but that's the cool down room. So that's blowing through everything we had to talk about ahead of getting into more of our previews on Monday. However, that is not everything we're talking about this episode. So we went through the X bookmarks. Now we're going to chat about the IndyCar commercial that's been making waves. And if you're wondering, and somehow you've missed the IndyCar commercial while you're a fan of motorsports podcasts because you're listening to the Driver's Debrief, you're watching. I could just simply call it the Joseph Newgarden sperm commercial. And if you're like, wait, it's the what? It also has Tom Brady and Alex Palou in it. All right. So Fox debuted a new commercial in an edgy, kind of fast-paced style. First off, professionally, I'm a marketer. I love it. It's a fantastic commercial. I only wish I had a job where I had the freedom and the budget to make things like that, because the creativity, awesome. The messaging, awesome. The audience, perfect. I loved it all. It really highlights Joseph Newgarden as a driver, kind of what he's achieved as a driver with his Indy 500 victories, with kind of how he's successful in life outside of IndyCar, how he's doing a bunch of different things, and obviously it leans into the kind of curb appeal of Joseph being a traditionally attractive person. And then it's hilarious because they talk about his jawline and compare that to Tom Brady, which this was aired during Sunday Football on Fox. So the whole audience is like, holy shit, that's Tom Brady. Wow, look at that. And on top of that, you have Alex Palou in there, for some comic relief, because it talks about how Joseph Newgarden wrote a children's book, and then Alex Palou is in the IndyCar putting his helmet on. You hear exhaust noises and stuff, and he goes, my kid hated it, which was a funny surprise. Everybody loved it. But apparently IndyCar and Fox are working on they've confirmed other commercials with Pato O'Ward, Colton Herta, some other drivers that they're doing these kind of persona-focused commercials on. So I'm super excited to see those, presumably in the upcoming playoff games on Fox. And really, it's having people consider why NASCAR wasn't promoted this way on Fox, but IndyCar is. I think a lot of it is that IndyCar has the potential to have more international appeal, so they're trying to do that now that Fox has kind of the complete rights to this, and the fact that they have these big broadcaster announcements. Will Buxton will inevitably draw eyes from Formula One over to IndyCar. The news of Cadillac and Colton Herta and all that sort of stuff, rumoring in F1 and Andretti, definitely going to bring some more eyes to IndyCar this season, because it was all happening kind of during the season last year. So it really provides Fox a clean slate to market this to new eyes, or to people who have maybe watched IndyCar in years past but have fallen away, showing that they're really putting in the time, the money, and the effort to make this something that will appeal to the masses, and I am here for it. So that is the IndyCar commercial. Let's go to the Formula E results from the Mexico City E-Prix that happened over the weekend. So they raced obviously in Mexico City, second race of the season, I believe. Let me see. I'm going to try to access the... Oh no, Sao Paulo already happened. And that was this season. Okay, so the Mexico City E-Prix, yeah, second race of the year. Let's go through the results. Starting in last, Beckman and Evans DNF'd with Cooper Kiro and Jaguar Racing. Sam Bird in 20th with McLaren. Dan Ticktum in 19th with Cooper Kiro. Maloney with Lola Yamaha in 18th. Eduardo Mortara with Mahindra in 17th. Lucas DeGrassi in 16th with Lola Yamaha. Norman Nato in 15th with Nissan. Nick Cassidy in 14th with Jaguar. 13th, Sebastian Buemi with Envision Racing. Robin Freins in 12th with Envision Racing. Hughes with Maserati in 11th. Barnard in 10th with McLaren. Nico Muller 9th with Andretti Formula E. Nick DeVries in 8th with Mahindra. Stoffel Van Dorn in 7th with Maserati. Maximilian Gunther in 6th with Penske. Jean-Eric Verne 5th with Penske. Jake Dennis in 4th with Andretti. Pascal Wehrlein in 3rd. And Antonio Felix da Costa in 2nd with Porsche. So Porsche getting a double podium in the second race, with Oliver Rowland claiming Nissan's first win in the Mexico City E-Prix, which gives Porsche the lead in the constructors, and I believe it puts Antonio Felix da Costa in the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Obviously, there's a long season ahead, but you will remember that Porsche are reigning champions, and Pascal Wehrlein is the reigning Drivers' Champion. So picking up where Porsche left off in the Tag Heuer Formula E Porsche cars, and picking up where they left off from 2024. So super excited to see. Obviously, I'm not a Formula E guy. I don't watch it routinely, but I will say that the Porsche brand is strong enough to make me care. So obviously, I personally hope that Porsche will go on to continue to dominate. I hope that they go on and win another championship. But we will see. News today that just dropped: that IndyCar is adopting the Formula One in-helmet camera to have that driver's eye perspective. So that'll be kind of cool. But just to finish on Formula E, hope Porsche goes and dominates and wins everything. So yeah, that was quick, but let's look at what we have next. This weekend, we have the Roar Before the 24. IMSA Racing is back. Then we have the Rolex 24 in 2 weeks. Then we have the Bathurst 12-hour January 30th through February 2nd. And then we have the Daytona 500. And we have more. We have IndyCar that's coming. We have F1 preseason testing. We got a lot of stuff that's coming down the pipe. So what I am going to do from the Drivers Debrief podcast headquarters, which is my third bedroom in my house, I am going to do a few more preview. The Monday episodes are going to be previews. All right, we're going to continue doing season previews, IndyCar, MotoGP, NASCAR, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be fun. It's a way to kind of have a clean slate as we head into the season. Since IMSA is already kicking off before I get through all the previews, we're going to do a Roar Before the 24 recap, probably Monday or Tuesday of next week. We'll do a Rolex 24 weekend recap as well the following week. We're not getting rid of those recaps. Those will return to X, YouTube, and Rumble, like we kind of blew through today. But we're going to make sure to still do those, but we're not going to have that be that Monday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time episode. Those are going to be the previews just because I spend more time compiling those notes and researching this stuff and stuff like that. So if you enjoyed this episode, or if you've enjoyed any of the previous episodes doing those previews and the predictions, make sure to follow right here on X at Drivers Debrief. Make sure to go subscribe on YouTube, follow on Rumble. These episodes will be uploaded after the fact so that you can watch whenever you'd like on those platforms, and you can contribute with your predictions or your thoughts on any of this news in the comment section. And then obviously X, we're cycling through this stuff all the time, interacting with various pages and stuff on X. For instance, we had a really cool exchange with the head creative director at Trackhouse Racing that if you don't follow on Twitter, you wouldn't have seen. So that was what we were doing last night. So make sure to check it out. Thank you so much for the views and the follows, everyone. Please do continue interacting, sharing, showing the love. I hope that I can provide some value to y'all and make your enjoyment of global motorsports a little bit easier being all in one place. That's going to do it for this episode of the Drivers Debrief. I'll see you next time.